Angelic teaching number 2, session number 3. I would like you to focus on your crystal ball and right away increase your level of frequency, bring as much as you can awareness in your work. And progressively let your hands feel guided with the flow. You don't have to match what I'm doing. Just let your hands work. You will feel your body wanting to express moves. It might be because you hear something, because you feel something, because you understand that it's the right thing to do. Be confident when you feel a little tiny pain or a little tension to just pinpoint it, just by acknowledging it, by touching it, releasing it. And as you're going to be touching your body, you're going to pinpoint, to have a vision, a clear image of what this is linked to. As you will be working with a client, obviously the pain that you feel should be linked to something linked to the client. So when you will touch it, you will have an image, a precise description of what this event is linked to, what this pain is linked to. And again, be confident. Describe what you see, describe what you wish to share. At the start, maybe working alone in front of a mirror, and your first client is you. In that case, I would say, it's all good, just talk freely, see what comes up. Control your emotions as well. You've learned already, until now, how to bring those emotions in control by allowing your soul to be in charge. Have your mind focus on what you're doing. Remember, when you've got emotions coming towards you, stay focused on your crystal ball. Witness this emotion unfolding and go to the core of it and tweak it, change the frequency of it. Release the core event that manifested this emotion, or amplify it if it's joy. All the higher frequencies you want to keep, and the lower ones you want to transform. Start recording as well your energy work. I'm not saying that you have to go through each tape and go through each recording and witness every single detail of what you're saying, what you're doing. But just as a reminder of your own work, just for you to be used of recording, of having a camera pointing at you, and you having to be focused on it. This will definitely help your work. Good. Start to feel the intensity of the work that you do, the speed, the the speed, the density, the brightness of what you feel with your hands. Imagine those particles as being charged, and you can just play like putting your hands into fine tiny bubbles and being able to just go in it and just feel what you're working with. You know, it's like putting your hands in fresh powder, snow powder. You can dive in it with your gloves, and you can still spread your hands, or find tiny particles of foam, you know, those white little particles, and you just move your hands in it. Feel the resistance as you expand, as you contract, as you push, as you pull, as you bring down, as you lift. Start to feel the interactions of several vortexes acting on top of each other. Remember when we work with a box of 6 vortexes in each direction from each wall, facing inward. And you can play with each frequency coming towards you with a different color, different brightness, different intensity and shape. So when you will be working, you will be able to see what you're working with. Allow also your guides to create and shape all those different parameters for you in this field of energy. You'll be amazed and surprised to notice how amazing it can be, how creative they are. And each time you think that you've reached their limit, they always show you something different. Sparkling energies within the field of energy. Of course, each sparkle has a specific meaning, and then you learn what it means. Allow your mind to be very creative in this process. Involve the mind in this activity is a key factor to success. Start being able to put words on what you experience. It doesn't matter if you spend few sentences describing it or if you've got blanks. Being able to share those messages, being able to share those feelings, it's very helpful. It helps structuring your mind as well as your inner perceptions. Sometimes we have difficulties grasping one concept and analyzing it. explaining it even more. So the best way is start your sentence by it's like, it feels like. That way you create a metaphor. You link something that you already know to something that you want people to grasp. This is the learning process. Creating a bridge from one reality that you acknowledge to another reality that you're perceiving, for others to be able to understand what you're talking about and how they can relate to it. The easiest metaphor you choose, the easiest it gets for one person to grasp your concept. Start noticing as well if your hands are expressing your thoughts, your voice at the same pace, with the same intensity. Is it coherent? Does it make sense that this move will express this word? You will only start to notice this when you will watch the videos and think, well, my hand there was moving a little bit too fast, or I was saying something but at the same time my hand was saying something else. Be in alignment with each single of your actions. Let your body guide your moves. Let the topics that you're going to express be guided by either perception, a word, feeling, something that comes from within or from above. That's another quote. Start noticing, just as I did now, when something feels pivotal, something feels very important, like a keystroke of a piano, something that says, wow, this note there, ding, 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 this note there is very important. This sentence is very important. It allows to create pattern, movement, and reference points as well in your speech. Today we are focusing a lot on bringing coherence, binding everything all together. It's important for us to acknowledge all those different things. It's important for other people to be able to understand what we're talking about, to feel connected to the work that we're doing, to be able to relate to it. Again, another factor is about walking your talk. Imagine you're an amazing doctor, but you're trying to talk to people, to bring people awareness about their weight and about their health and about their diet and what they should eat and how they should do it. Well, are you in alignment with what you're saying? Are you fit? Are you able to be talking about this subject? First thing that people are going to relate to is to your life patterns, and how you're able to structure your life. If you become a role model, then yes, you're able to talk about this subject more easily than if you were in disharmony with your speech. Be aware that all those tiny details make the whole full picture. Sounds nice, looks nice, be nice. And also it's very helpful to work simultaneously on helping others and helping ourselves. Sometimes you don't have to be perfect on one field. in one field in order to be talking about it, but just already being on that path of getting better, getting more exercise, having a more stable life, having daily or weekly rituals. It really helps. Start to notice as well the little tiny details that you could tweak in order to get things better. I'll give you an example. You've been noticing, for example, in the several previous recordings that sometimes we could hear my chair creaking and making noise as I was moving on it. As soon as I noticed this, I asked myself, what would it take to have a better recording without this noise on it? How could I enhance the quality of people listening to the audio of the recordings? Several options popped up in my mind. See the process? Things pop up in your mind, different options. I could either keep it that way, do not move, buy another chair, or try to fix it. The kind of fixing part, I kind of liked it. It felt something very nice and very warm energy inside of my stomach, in my crystal ball. And I was drawn towards this option. I could not imagine and see myself not moving at all on my chair during all the recordings. And buying another chair would be a waste, and I didn't need another one. But tweaking it and making it better, trying to fix it, then popped up in my mind an idea as soon as I focused on the choice. So my soul picked up the choice, and then I asked myself, what would it take for me to fix it? Again, I opened possibilities. First thing that came up, I had a vision of a tiny little bottle of oil that I could use, that I might have in my tools in order to grease, put some oil on the doors. I used this, and within 1 minute, 1 minute and a half, the chair was not creaking anymore. Well, I bet if I still move a lot on it, you might hear something, but it's nothing really compared to what it was before. Why did I use this example? Just to show you that there are always things that we can improve, and the process that you use during your energy work can be applied to any single event in your life. That's the whole beauty about it. It's about integrating tools that we learn in spiritual world, binding your soul, your mind, in order to be able to make this 3D reality better and greater. Again, it works back way as well. Remember those stories that I tell you, because in daily life you'll suddenly be able to relate much more easily to the events that will occur in your life, saying, oh, it is like that story that John told me, or it is like that event that I already experienced. Create those bridges the same way we talked about earlier, those bridges between two different realities, something that you already know and you master to something that you are learning, in the process of learning. Blend all the tools. As you see, we've been working with the mind, relating the mind to your soul, reconnecting the mind to the soul. We've been using the sentence, what would it take? Instead of saying, what should I do? Or I'd like to do this. No, What would it take? You just open up all possibilities. And then I open up to my imagination and creativity, and the messages come towards me in many different forms. In that case, I had a vision of that bubble, but also I heard those different choices that I could have, whether buying a new chair, or trying to fix it, or not moving, or keeping it that way. And again, when things pop up in your mind right away like this, within 1 second you just have all your different options. There is no need to let your mind keep thinking and running this process over and over. It's a waste of energy, waste of time. You know that whatever has to come will come right away. Your best options come usually right on the spot, just when you need them. That's how it works. It works best that way. All right, let's get back to energy. Start to feel, to hear this melody, those notes of music, this symphony of energy. Might be linked to the wind. Maybe you can hear this energy, feel like some type of wind blowing in leaves in a tree, hearing the tree moving left and right. Maybe you could see a pond with the surface just moving slightly as the wind blows on it. Associate your energy work to things that you mastered, that you know about your reality, about nature. Nature is so close to energy work. It's so interesting. I told you about the light AT2, those lamps that I channeled and created with different rainbow colors mounted on a geometrical shape. Well, one is flying to Perth, another one just flew to Sydney, and a third one just flew to India. Good. Good. Start to feel the tempo of the energy work as well. It doesn't have to be with the same pace all the time. Sometimes you can feel the field of energy wants to go slower, and you just want to adapt yourself to that. Let it slow down. Again, don't let your mind kick in by saying, well, I could go faster, I want to go faster. There is no need to go that slow. No. There's always a reason for everything. Sometimes we don't know it yet. Sometimes we don't have to know. You know, it's like going from A to B. It's not about going to B. It's about enjoying the ride to be on the way to go to B. And experiencing what comes up. I had a period of time where I was always either focused on the past or either focused on the future. It took me years to be able to be in the present, acknowledging my past and having goals for the future. And you will always find this inner balance, trying to find the right intensity, how much focus you want to put on your present, on your future, on your past. And now we are reaching a very interesting frequency. Can you feel that? We would not have been able to reach that frequency if we were going too fast. We would not have picked it up. It almost feels like we are in between several layers, feeling the different layers of time, and at the same time not being affected by any of them. Can you feel how comfortable it is? You being able to witness those different types of energies being between two layers, between several layers. Without being in any of them. Being out of time and space. Isn't that amazing? Witnessing time passing by and not being affected by it. Wow. Remember this frequency and how you can get back to it. How to remember a frequency? Well, easy. You remember that button that you've got on your right side that commands your frequency. The same way you've got another one next to it commanding the intensity. Well, just visualize that on that button, when you turn it to a certain level, you've got a mark and something shines and pop up like a signal. Could be a line, it could be anything, telling you that you reached your frequency. It's like your bookmark. Remember to associate and to blend all the tools that you've seen in all the different realities from each different and single tool. On your Google Brother, you've got this ability to create bookmarks. So you just use the same thing, but you use it for your frequencies. Remember, being resourceful is the key. You always have the resources from within to make things happen. All right, let's move on to a new frequency. Wow, that was quite interesting. I love that. As you can perceive, as we move on through those different teachings, now we are reaching more and more to energy work, finding nuances being able to bring even more sensitivity into the play. What about those thoughts that pop up in your mind, reminding you about things that you could have done differently in your past? Let's take again a simple exercise, simple example. Suddenly you're doing your energy work and suddenly you have this thought coming in your mind about, why didn't I put that oil on my chair earlier? How come I didn't have that thought earlier? Why did I have to go through that many recordings before picking that up? Again, let go of that thought. It's not worth it. But learn from this experience. Saying, thank you for acknowledging all those different things and learnings and teachings. And now, what would it take for me to be even? And that's where you have to define exactly what you want to wish. What would it take for me to be able to pick up easily on the things that I could tweak and magnify in order to make my life greater, in order to make my work more available, so people can connect to it and relate to it even better, for them to have a better experience, have a greater experience. See, you always can tweak the way you formulate, the way you sentence your wishes. This is the beauty of it. There is no perfection, but one person can always get closer to it by getting used to it, by repetition, by learning, by understanding. Let's focus on your strength. Let's activate each single of our chakra. You stay focused on your crystal ball, and then you start to feel each of your chakra expanding. You will start to notice that they don't open up the same way. Some are pulsing, some are spinning. The other one are expanding and coming back, expanding and coming back like an art. Some are creating geometric shape and going faster. Again, it's your own perception of it. Each of your chakra will have a certain way of communicating with you. And for you to learn this, again, it's not because one chakra wants to communicate in one way on one day that it will always communicate in the same way with you. Start to learn what they mean by perceiving it, acknowledging them. Be curious. That would be the key word. I talked with my oldest client yesterday. She's 91 years old. She looks 60. Amazing. So I asked her, I said, well, all right, if I had one secret, one tip to learn from you on how to reach that age, being in such great shape as you are. The secret, she says, is to be curious. Saying yes to new opportunities as they feel right. Being joyful, playful, embracing life, honoring life, Wow. Imagine that. A lesson taught by a 91 years old client. I loved it. I had the vision. I could see in the cards. We are doing a spread of cards as well, and I could see through the cards that she was kind of arguing with herself, and I had that thought that came up that she was arguing about her own health, complaining about her own health. So I mentioned that to her, beside the fact that I could feel that she was also very independent. And she said, yeah, that's spot on. And I said, well, you have a great health, but I still see you complaining about it, wanted it better. And then I have the vision of a hearing device in order to increase what you see, what you perceive, what you hear. And I say, well, do you have difficulty in hearing on your right ear? And she says, yes. I say, well, I have the vision of this hearing device that could increase your ability to hear. And she suddenly just magically take it out. As I was saying, well, there are amazing ones that you can't even notice. The one she had, you couldn't even see, it was so tiny. She told me that she would connect that device to her iPhone, to her iPad, even to the television. And when she would be listening to the television, she could increase. People would be listening to the TV like normally, but just her in her right ear, she would be able to hear louder. So she would not disturb everyone by putting the volume too high, but she will still hear it with the volume that she wanted. Imagine that when your phone rings, even if your phone is in your bag in another room, you've got that ring in your ear that tells you that your phone is ringing in the other room. How far does technology go? How amazing is that? Start to understand that all those different realities are blending. And within 40, 50 years from now, all of this is going to just be normal. All this energy work that we're talking about, people are going to learn it from early ages, acknowledging them for what they are, things that are common. Imagine that. Simple device that changes so much of your life. 91 years old, and she's got email, she's got internet, she browses on internet, she uses apps on phone, and she showed me the app for hearing device. Amazing. Amazing. So much to learn. I have another client, she's mute. She can't talk, but she told me, she reads on her lips, of course. Did you know that sign language, depending of the country that you've been learning it, people do not understand each other? There are languages among sign languages. Imagine that. You can have slang as well. The same way you use some type of vocabulary, then you use other ones. And they've got implants now that they can put like a chip in your mind that creates vibrations in your brain. That way you can understand what people say by learning another language, linked to those sequences of frequencies that you feel in your brain. I'm telling you, the more you expand your awareness in different fields, the more you understand that everything is linked. frequencies, energies, perceptions, intuitions, connectivity, all comes all together. It's time. We live in an amazing reality. So let's begin the show. Talk to you soon.